Number 1 and Pacific number 2, and it's time to throw down as the barriers go up on split.
Yeah, and it's looking like we're going to get a brawl to start things off. Both teams with the majority of their players set up outside this A site. They both run pistols in this direction before. Good nade coming out of Forsaken already, and something, a Mind Freak peeking off the back of it. They're going to be stuck in the corner early on. This is a great start for PRX.
Now Munchkin's in danger as well. He tried to jump away. The Boombot was chasing him. Munyet caught him. And for GENG, 2 versus 5, barely any damage done. At least they've still got the spike, but they have to hope for some serious mistakes at this point. The PRX go running forward, or even rotate, assuming that it's a B hit. But you can see there's no real need for panic on the defensive side. They're just going to hunker down and wait for GENG to take a step forward and give them the first pistol round win.
Yeah, I think the scary prospect as well is that on this map in particular, we have seen some sort of rougher attack sides out of GENG. Obviously, that is helped a little bit by having that Omen instead of the Astra. But other than that, it's an absolutely flawless start to this one. Now, as said, expectations for PRX is this is the map that they'll win. If it's going to happen in this series, I think the next 2 I would favor to GENG, even more so because of the fact that we saw recently on Lotus the changes to the comp for PRX, and I'll be honest, I didn't like it. It didn't look good. So this is the map that I feel like PRX have to win. The problem is, throughout this tournament, I've said that, and then they've won the other map. Because that's just how they are. They just manage to adapt. They have the individual players that sometimes they can just frag through a map. And that is rare. Like, it is very difficult to have people that are on that level.
At least from the games we've had, Tom, it has been an insane percentage of teams trading out their own map picks, losing your pick and winning your opponents. GENG, they've not got off to a great start, and as the push comes in, okay, actually they're getting close. The pressure's kind of being applied to Munyet now, blinded up, he's taken down. Okay, it's not a bad start at all for GENG, gaining some ground, now winning some more fights, and with heals up, okay. It looks like they've tidied it up eventually, but that got very scary for a moment.
I would love to see Forsaken's POV in that, because what it looked like he did was jump down from the heavens with an outlaw in hand and try and face their entire team. Now, that would be ridiculous to even attempt. But
crazy. But do you know who he is?
Yes, I do. He just lost his gun. It's now been given to something, and he's bought a judge to replace it. So that, again, if you're talking about Forsaken, he's basically answered the question himself.
Well, it looks like we're going to be using that dash very early on for something. He's getting aggressive. Wall goes up. He's ahead of it. Looking to take someone down. He got the shot off. 10 HP left on Meteor, but that's the one problem. If you're the one taking contact with that Outlaw, you're not going to kill the player. Sky. You need to get out.
That's the thing. They can just heal him back up, so that it's actually not that problematic for what was an early battle. You can already see heading over in that direction. Munyet is going to get aggressive as well. Bear in mind, this purchase is fairly weak for PRX. Normally you'd see a rifle or 2 in the mix, but this is just SMGs. It can work, more so on Split than probably any other map. This crossfire is fairly nasty, but that's the thing I've really enjoyed about GENG. They've been methodical. They've been careful throughout this tournament. They are not one of those teams that are just aggressively running in and blitzing their way through rounds. They can. They have the skill to do it, but they're always, especially in these sort of rounds, very careful.
And it looks like caution's paid off for them. Whatever noise they made on A has sold it to PRX, who are now running the gamble on an A stack. Of course, there's an Outlaw there that could be retrieved. I doubt it even will be. It's quite far up, and the player that will pick it is in heaven, because that spike plant should be coming down in a little bit. PRX, hear no noise, see nobody here. There's a flash still on Divide that could be used to clear outside of it, but this late on in the game, you're just going to sit there, hope they dive into you. And as we can see, they've gone to the exact other side of the map. So for PRX, you know, it's hard to get back into a site with these weapons as well, especially a site like this where pretty much every fight on the way in is long range.
See, normally you talk about, okay, maybe going down to the spike or just trying to hold for exits, but I am waiting for Forsaken to attempt to try and blast back through something, and already Mind Freak taking a lot of control. Now, Texture in a fairly solo position. There's a chance. There's the blast packs already, and there's the judge. Exactly what Forsaken does. He got a rifle, but it's very short-lived. Well held by GENG, even with a little bit of chaos.
Yeah, I mean, they spread themselves out there. Lots of space, so even when that judge gets up close, he's only getting the 1, and it's an immediate drop. The rest of the players easy to deal with when you've got that kind of weaponry advantage and you're not caught out of position. 2-1. It's a fairly bog standard start to the game. Pistol win for PRX, follow up, and then they lose. I mean, the one thing that we'll say is that maybe that third round could have seen a bit more damage out of that side. But again, they did gamble on a site. It didn't work out. This is what happens. The opportunity, though, to deal that damage here as we get the operator out on something right away. And the shot has not landed, but yet good for one and drop the B site under threat. But GENG back off. The whole time they've been leaving Meteor outside of A to catch a rotation. He hasn't found one, but one can assume that rotation's going on through the spawn right now if you're GENG. They don't know that Mindfreak's still very much close.
Yeah, they also flash mid on the defensive side, so they have the information that there was no one there, so they're able to gamble an early rotation in towards this A site. Forsaken still with the judge, is just going to make sure he keeps control in mid, but it's slightly more stacked up than you might expect. The only problem is he might get caught. He's switching between utility. Finally, will pull the gun out, but the aggression of his teammate gets absolutely nothing. And well, there is the floor of the judge. Not going to find anything more, and for something, I hope to God he's going to save.
It's not the round you want to see him throw his life away for, is it? A 1v3 with the op, possible, winnable, but not to be. If he had a few more kills along the way, a few more orbs picked up, something like that, maybe risk it with the Blade Storm, but even then, the op is just so expensive. Doesn't want to throw it out. And for GENG, I think they're sort of realizing that they heard the op earlier on, right? They know that it's in play right now. So they're gone spread out, already sending Munchkin to try and find this player, and based on the time, it looks like he might be safe. They'd have to start hightailing it in that direction now. So an op for the next round, but just look at the credits on PRX. It's not like they're going to be able to fully recover into a standard buy. I think the pendulum's kind of swinging in GENG's favor now at 2-2. Economy's under their control, and ults will come online soon.
Yeah, and as I said, when we saw them play against CDG, they had a really stellar, aggressive, and confident defensive side. So I think for them, any sort of grinding out of these early rounds is going to be really important. Sure, you're still going to have an operator onto something, which alone can be enough to cause issues in the round. But as said, they've been methodical. Their utility's been good. They instantly had a snake bite that went through to deny him that early aggression. It's expected at this point. By the looks of things, they may even just be going for an early A take. They are all set up outside.
I liked what I saw last round. I don't know if you caught it in the replay, Tom, but a fist bump into a high five. Let's see how many high fives there are for GENG after this one. They've got a lot of space, but that flash was perfect. Deadly from Devi, and he's managed to slip away towards the elbow. Another fight. And he's actually got a teammate in there. I don't know if they've seen Forsaken, but they certainly have now at heavy cost. Smokes are down, but so too are the majority of PRX players. It's only something left, but he has that off. The 1v2 he didn't go for. The 1v3, it's tempted him. It's pulled him in for the fight. He hasn't found them to start off, though, and that dash already halfway up. Wants to close the distance. So many tough angles, tight angles to clear with this op in hand. And no idea there's a player up top. He's checking the right angle. What a shot! But Lakia was close by, ready for that play. A third round found for GENG. They're running away with this early game.
Yeah, still a close round for what was invested. That was a decent stack up in the early stages for PRX, just basically having the majority. And somehow managing to dodge some shots that I don't really know how they did, but bringing it down to just one player surviving, keeping that economy a little bit more honest for GENG. And, well, you see the danger of how fast this man is with the operator. The problem, though, is he's not going to be able to have it for this round. They didn't have the extra finances and the quick trading. Again, the fundamentals of GENG, sublime.
1 kill, 1 death as well, so he's still 2 away from a Blade Storm. So we're down to just that rifle. But as we said, ultis were coming online. We saw the Seekers used by Lakia, finding a lot of information. This time around, PRX have theirs, but also a showstopper online. That's a big weapon to have in the back pocket of Forsaken and could play a role later on in the round. For GENG, you can see their spread. This is a full default play. At this point, they're expecting PRX to make some adaptations and to throw out some of that signature early round aggression. Still hasn't happened, though. They're happy to bunker down and wait for that push to come through. Like I said, the other problem here, GENG have a lot of credits built up. If PRX lose this round, it's going to be a skyrocket.
Oh, maybe when. That's not the start they were looking for. 2 players down immediately. Forsaken's been a hero before, but down to just 5 HP. That's not really going to work too well for them. And the Seekers went towards mid, but also in towards the A site. The realization's there eventually. Mindfreak can win this battle. It could be huge. I don't think they're going to expect him. It's such an obscure position to be in, but then it's almost revealed. Devi, though, has done well. bringing back 2 kills.
30
The
seconds
spike
left.
just about making it to the site, and it is going to bait
Last player
in.
standing.
Nice work from the side of Munchkin, teaming up with Texture. It leaves this man who did get healed up early in the round. As I said, he's been ever so devastating. Showstopper might just be able to clear, shoots it into the Viper's pit, but actually, Munchkin's just teamed up with his teammates, just left it. Doesn't even mind about the pit. I don't know if Forsaken realized it, but it doesn't even matter. Loses the fight to his counter raise, and the march continues on for GENG.
GENG are having a field day right now. Like I mentioned, the economy was in their favor. The ults that were there for PRX burned up in that round to try and gain some semblance of an advantage. And Divide did incredibly well. In his position, he stayed down in screens, waited for the swing out with the player Munchkin up top, almost sacrificing himself because he's so out in the open. They swung to try and trade him, and Divide had that beautiful off angle to just rip them to shreds. We're seeing elements of that team play there from PRX. We're seeing individuals win some of their fights.
Stat you want to have ever, because you'd rather just be winning the rounds outright. But they need some of those heroes to come online because they've been okay, but it's not been enough to take rounds off GENG.
Haven't seen the numbers of clutches from GENG versus PRX, but PRX also do very well in those late rounds. Players like Forsaken previously bailed them from so many situations. Now, weaker weapons, like we said, and close range surprise factor is probably the best way to find value. Mindfreak has at least picked up one, but Karen is making this one look easy. 3 kills already under his belt, 40 HP, and he's tucking in the corner. It looks like he's going to get this one easily with Mindfreak drop. That's his 4th kill of the round. A confidence builder if ever I've seen one. And that's the last thing that PRX wanted to give to their opponent. Again, not talking about them losing the round. That's expected. It's the amount of players still alive on GENG. They're farming credits by the minute, but something has picked up one more. 3 to go. One hell of a play if he made it. And it ain't going to happen. Look at that firing squad down below.
Yeah, I think against any other team, maybe it'd have a chance, but GENG have been so good just playing off of each other, trading effectively, and they don't even lose another member of the squad. 5 and 2, and I love the sort of switch up in tempo, especially in these anti-eco rounds. They're not allowing their opponents to really figure out anything that's going on. You had the instant TP to the back of site, information clearing things out. The rest of the team quickly execute, and Karen actually sticks around. He just keeps the spot, keeps the control. Doesn't allow anybody to get too far ahead, and he even takes himself 4 kills while he's at it, so why not?
This is definitely where on the side of PRX you start to feel that mental pressure applied. Defense has been tested again and again. They failed the test again and again. 5 in a row for GENG, and now ultis are there. Showstopper fired off, and Munyet had no chance. No smokes for the way back through. No paranoia to play with. Still some flashes on Divide, but PRX set up with a man disadvantage on a retake seconds into the round.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy to get back in here. As said, they're not bad in these 4v5s, but GENG are even better in the 5v4s. Opener, again, Karen takes down another Forsaken trying his best, but he's almost dead. It is, and well, Lackey and Meteor combined might be one of the fastest rounds we've ever had in the VCT. That was so quick from GENG. And you could just see, the more the confidence build, the faster these takes are getting. GENG are getting opener after opener. They've used a couple of ults, but they're also able to stagger them. Like you're talking about, Showstopper used this round. Last round they used From the Shadows to get the same sort of information. Although that's already back online.
Yay, oh wow, huge.
Hey, got them the spaces around prior.
Yeah.
And then Kara got 4 kills. That's why it's back online.
Well, this has to be a crushing one for PRX off rip. Because again, they're left to weaker weapons in theory, but they've actually managed to mix a buy with light shields and full shields on something because he doesn't need a weapon. He's got 5 knives locked and loaded. We'll see what he can do with those. But the reality is, yeah, the momentum is very much in GENG's favor. The economy is riding high after several reinvestments. Just take a look at their credits on that right-hand side. It's looking pretty for a number of rounds to go, maybe for the rest of this half. Still possible for a 6-6 scoreline, but it has to start here with a much better defense. Now, we talked about some aggression from this PRX side, seeing it early on in rounds. So with a minute left on the clock, they're going for it. Good paranoia, but the fights don't go their way. GENG winning out every single one. There's no competition, Tom. Barely a lick of damage done, and what is negated by the heal. This is a disaster. Something might be able to save them. He's made big plays before with the Blade Storm. There's one! And not 2! Damage, but no kills!
Oh! Munyet has a chance! Somehow this has come back into a winnable scenario. Just needs to hit the bullet! Oh, that's so unfortunate! A nice try for the new man on the block. I didn't think there was any way that that round was going to become competitive. But somehow Munyet made it close. The thing is, though, again, you just have to give props to GENG. Like, the beginning of this round, they were so ready. They had their whole team just waiting in mid, ready for that push to come through. And sure, the utility from PRX was good onto a couple of the players, but the deeper players were so ready for that push to come in. It ends up being quite an easy fight.
Yo, not even close, guys! Not even close!
Yeah, like I said, you know, there was no chance of them losing that clean. I thought something would be the hero, but Munyet, they complimented his calling and his play in the video we saw earlier, and I can see why, if he's fragging out like that. But again, close but no cigar, 7-2. GENG finding next to no struggles.
I've got your trail.
Close opportunity for PRX to clutch it, and this could have looked very different, but instead, they're on an eco. They've already lost something. Stingers to play with. Sheriff on Forsaken. And Texture's got confidence for days. He sees an eco and he's diving down into vents after them.
The thing is, they've got so much control towards mid that they have to just be wrapping out from another position. But look how passive the players are. They know that there's going to be weaker weaponry, so they're just not giving them any of the close range fights. Powering up from above, there's not really an easy way to kill him. Maybe there is. Somehow Munyet got past all the defenses. Even still, though, this post-barn looks strong. Nade still available. They've been taking these sites so quickly that they've had no problems just having late utility. Wow, the time almost looks like it's gone. Trying to bait some space, but it's all too easy for GENG. Another 3-man player surviving. 8-2 on the board. And this is PRX's map. They have lost 8 rounds in a row. Other than the pistol in second round, they've achieved nothing.
It's hard to think about. Even the round that was close, Tom, it comes on the back of the player needing a 4K to get it across the line. It's not what you want to see. Early on in a series, on a map that previously GENG got absolutely obliterated on within their region, now they come to the international stage and...
They might do one better.
Yeah, 13-4 us, well 13-2 you. An opportunity here at least to shut down the first and the second. Munyet does well, Rockets on point. And with Lakia down, it looks like PRX are set to finally put another round on the board. Long have they waited. It's Karen to try to challenge, and he got an opportunity, but it was shut down eventually by something with only one standing. It's an easy win. 8-3. PRX finally back on the board, but hell of a distance yet to go.
Yeah, and again, it comes off some individual brilliance out of Forsaken. Definitely had support. I think he doesn't get that kill if it's not for Munyet being able to kill off the close player, but it's at least a breath of life. We've seen them have strong attacking halves before, so even a sort of 8-4 scoreline wouldn't be a complete death sentence. I'm looking at 2 operators on the attack, though. Obviously, it's something that can be dropped, but they are waiting for aggression here. And it's coming. It's coming.
They ain't waiting in the right spot, though. Those ops are elsewhere. And that mid control is going to be completely conceded. The golden gun on Lakia. Good to see him showing up. Really swinging. I think he's currently 12 and 6-2 KD on the board and a chance to push it even further at 8-3. PRX tried a mid push, got denied. Now it seems like they're caught 1 foot in the grave. They don't know whether to continue on that aggression or reset for the later play, and GENG have not made a decision. With 1 minute 5 seconds on the clock, they don't need to rush. They're holding tight, waiting for PRX to make the mistake.
They're so nervous of someone being within the smokes that are placed. Most of the time, those smokes are being put down by Munyet just to deter aggression, which is exactly what it's done. Texture, though, might have a fight. Because they're so passive, the operator could be so valuable here. There's no one on the backside once again, but the spike is looking to wrap around in the other direction. A peek out from something. Oh, I think Meteor's seen him, but it won't matter too much for now. It's going to activate the dash. Something goes peeking, but now I'm just looking at that timer. TP into the backside once more. It's been cleared out, so the spike will be able to go down. This almost has to be a complete retake.
Oh, nice shot by Lakia as well. There's his 13.
Spike drop.
An opportunity indeed with that spike down. 15 seconds left. It's time for GENG to get a move on. Munchkin has to step out from that corner, and he's being caught. They need to dive on that spike and get it planted, but PRX are in their way. 4 rounds at the half. It's not a death sentence, like you said, Tom, but certainly nothing to celebrate. This has been a strong performance from GENG. Lakia leading the charge and plenty more left in the tank for this second half. You have to hope that PRX have got something special planned on their attack, because this was a really, really rough scenario for them to have to fight back from.
Yeah, it is definitely a troublesome position.
Put to the test, and the big thing to write home about last time was something diving into sites. The thing is, he had a Yoru causing a lot of chaos for him. Now it's a little bit more conventional, but that's never the name of the game with PRX. In he goes! Something's looking for a fight. Paranoia is perfect. Snakebite's even better. And with 1 HP, Lakia doesn't stand a chance. The rest of the squad comes in to save him, but they've ended up falling to a 3 versus 1 with Meteor left standing and his back wide open. That's a mistake!
Oh, no.
And it almost was a costly one too.
Yeah, the Munya needed to hit that headshot at the end. It looked like there was a realm where Meteor managed to turn that back. Even still, though, it is the pistol round for PRX, and that is the thing. Even with this compositional change, the thing that it adds is, firstly, you're going to have that Paranoia available for Munya to sort of set them up in, as we saw at the beginning of that round. But also, it just almost, we're going to continuously see the switch up of who's going in first. So you're going to have Forsaken sometimes taking space for something, maybe if he has that operator in hand, and something in that round taking space for Forsaken. They are a deadly duo, whether the Yoru's there or not.
Oh, there's a reason that they went to this comp after all. Nice shot by Meteor. Opportunity for more, and he's landed that shot as well. Forsaken's very low, a big help to any teammates that end up taking that fight. We may talk about the Outlaw, but this man's making it work with the Marshall, the cheaper weapon. And okay, an opportunity if they had have spotted the player in the corner. Munyet, though, able to deliver the killing blow. Mindfreak fell to a snake bite after being... Oh! What is that push from Meteor? You will rarely see a man with the goal or the gumption to do such a thing. Karen, 1 versus 2. A serious opportunity. Yes, he's far away, but that might mean by the time he gets here, he could pick up a weapon.
It depends, though, because PRX, that's the thing. The blitz plays of PRX have been so fast that there's actually still loads of time. They don't need to over-aggress. They've just thrown out the guiding light, the flash, to get them a little bit of extra information. Still no weaponry found. Now, Karen does have himself a Paranoia. He's brought up his full belt of utility. If he can somehow isolate one of these duels, for now at least, it seems like he's waiting for that site to be taken. Smoke will give that away, the spike being planted. And now he can look to try and see if there's any gun to be had, and, well, there you have it.
Thank you, Yeti. Yeah, we've got a Bulldog to play with, 100 HP, a Paranoia still online, both smokes. Timing is key, and they swung him together. That's a 3-2-1, perfectly on cue. They won the round, Tom. 3 players down. This definitely isn't how they would have wanted to start it. And when I add to that it's a Marshall headshot, okay, what can you do? And another Marshall headshot from a guy pushing a smoke close range, using it like a shotgun. That's not going to feel great. And the other player died to a snake bite. So, few kind of random engagements that ended up, well, rocking the boat a little bit for PRX. We'll see how they recover.
When the thing is as well, the player you really don't want those ults to be going over to is Meteor. 3 away from the Blade Storm. Even just a bit of damage in this round, and he'll have something for the next. Now, this purchase from PRX has players now fairly low on cash. You've got Forsaken and Mindfreak down at 150 credits. So for the next round, they might be in a little bit of trouble. Forsaken, though, he's just gone walkabouts. He's sprinting after Lakia, but he isn't going to be able to land the shot. And at least for now, it's only going to be the control that's lost for GENG.
No heavy price tag associated with it. Down in vent, this is an uncouth hold. 2 players, and they're dropping in, landing on each other's head. It couldn't be easier for Lakia, signed, sealed, and delivered to this man with the heal up for his teammate. Munchkin's going to be back up in fighting form, and in a 5v3, that's another nail in the coffin for PRX. Tagged up a little on a ranged fight, and what an adjustment from Munchkin. Clinical, as now there's only 2 attackers standing. Their chances are looking pretty slim.
Yeah, he almost killed Devi through the screen as well, so he's going to be half HP entering the site. They don't even know that Munchkin's there. A perfect reposition. This might be a flawless return to form, as Devi's the only man left standing. A 1v5 scenario. Talk about, can he do any semblance of damage? As said, they invested some extra credits into this round, so the next round's not exactly going to be pretty. Wouldn't normally talk about saving, but I think actually holding onto a gun here would have more value, and he's just been seen and knowing exactly where he is now. I imagine there's going to be pressure placed onto this man. Blast packs could be thrown in, but it's just going to be the entirety of the squad looking to just jump down upon him within those last few seconds. And well, it's not even needed. First one gets the job done, and GENG will extend their lead.
5 players alive, you know, it's a little scary because it feels like since the very beginning of some of these halves, GENG haven't had a problem when it comes to economy. And I think for this 6-9 scoreline, PRX attack side, they get a decent buy out of it. And, you know, it might even seem weird if you look at the timeline. You lose the 3rd round after winning first 2. What's the issue? The issue is the damage done. 2 players alive coming out of both of those rounds. It meant constant reinvestment, and PRX now left with a Stinger and a Sheriff. Light shields on most players. Some heavy disadvantages to play with, and that orb, well, I mean, it kind of has worked because Munchkin fell into it, but not doing exactly what they intended.
It's not going to cover up above. They've had to re-smoke it. Again, an explosive start to the round. Almost a kill. Well, I say almost. They've ended up with 3. This is exactly what PRX does. These fast-paced plays into the site. As mentioned, this was a weaker purchase. They had some pieces missing with that Sheriff and Stinger. Now that you look towards the players of GENG, in this 2v4 scenario, Flash is already going to reveal Texture's position. And they've spotted Karon as well. Although I say that, the peek out never really came in. The player behind the back of the site should have probably seen him. Now it gets a little bit more interesting. Space given to Texture, but it's both shots landed by Mindfreak. He's been quiet so far, but popping a couple of heads with the Sheriff isn't going to go amiss.
Well, this is definitely the time to wake up. You know, we gave the same caveat coming into the last half, and then GENG ran away with it. But here, a challenge early on, and more importantly, a challenge with so many weaknesses on the board. I mean, this was a round where you have a couple of rifles, and what ends up winning it is a Stinger diving onto site, 2 kills out of a Sheriff to close the round out. Doesn't get much better than that. It was even a classic jumping around the corner to find one of those opening duels in elbow.
It's also now, you've talked about, it's 8 rounds in a row that were lost. An 8-2 scoreline. The difference is now just 2. That's how close PRX have managed to bring this. Going on to their favored side, the B site under serious pressure. Half the team still waiting patiently. Karon's reposition. It's sublime. He's managed to TP behind them. He gets away with murder. Brilliant from Karon. We talk about picking this player out of ranked. He's put the rank play into the pro play.
And it works. You know, sometimes you just got to throw out those curveballs. You're focused on so many different things. You don't think the Lunatic's going to be up top, but my goodness, what a reposition from him. And clearly one that wasn't expected on the other side. And again, we fall back into economy discussion around this squad. They've been sitting pretty. They've been looking fantastic. They were able to obviously rebuy in this round because of the damage done early on. And, well, they only really needed one of those rifles by the looks of things. A timeout called by PRX as they can now feel that it's getting very late into this game. We're at a stage where if GENG picks up one more, they'll be knocking on victory's door. So, yeah, 17-14.
Seekers available. On the other side, a Bladestorm as well for Meteor, but I don't know if he'll use that in this round unless he sees the value. An immediate setup for the Paranoia, but this is a ruse. The spike is over on towards B.
Costly ruse, perhaps. Forsaken. The decay is going to fade, but he's still half HP, and Munchkin finds it too easy to deal with him. One well-placed shot, and he's down and out. Now we need to see the return for GENG as another is found. Something falls. 2 rifles still in play. Seekers still in play, and a few flashes here and there. 1, in fact, just on Devi. Not a lot for them to fight their way back through with utility, but it's this man's position that might get them something. He's found another with the weaker weapons. This man's an animal. Oh, he's being put down. And for PRX, they look to take it elsewhere, but those steps are heard. Meteor's in position, unbeknownst to them. You might have her trail, but, well, it's a little more difficult to deal with her cleanly. Mindfreak, the last man standing, 1v3. And Munchkin's already spotted him. He's a known quantity with a flank underway. Munchkin just needs to buy some time, back off, and let his teammates take it. And gets this kill, he's got himself a Viper's Pit to play with. Or if he dies, I suppose.
That's the thing. He's literally just playing with him because he knows that flank is coming. I really love it. It was brought up by Lakia in the halftime interview that he believes that playing with someone like Munchkin has brought a lot of depth to his own playstyle. And you can just see the intelligence even in this round. He literally just pulled Mindfreak towards him. He had no plans to fight him at any stage. wants to just play the higher percentage play, and that's why GENG have been able to convert a lot of these advantages. And for PRX, a lot of the time I don't mind these gambles, but I feel like Forsaken has been one of the sort of glimmers of hope. So you were almost going, he has to get something, otherwise it's just now a push without him going into the site, and it didn't work with him.
You know, the thing is for PRX right now, at an eye test, you might think it's not doom and gloom. 11-7, 4-round gap, it's not that bad. It's a chance for them to fight back, albeit here with weaker weapons, but they've looked good there. The problem is, they've won 4 of those 7 rounds off the pistol and follow-up. Like, the injection of rounds early half makes this look like a much closer game than it is, but GENG have been dominating in rifle rounds. Now they've got 4 ultimates to fall back on, up against weaknesses, but no Lakia. A big opening kill for the side of PRX, as Heaven could now be theirs. GENG might start to panic, might make a mistake, and with Munchkin inside the smoke isolated, that might just be the mistake they were looking for.
Oh, this could be big! He actually switches away, and it's just going to be the shutdown, surely, from Meteor. He starts off the round and ends it as well. 12-7. This map looking over. As you said, in terms of buy rounds, we've barely seen anything. 3 of them, in fact. Well, guess what, Mitch? They need 5 in a row.
5 in a row, up against 4 ultimates, only the Blade Storm that's gone. Like, keep in mind, GENG have a full buy with Seekers, with a Viper's Pit, with a Showstopper from the shadows. And so that's a lot for this defensive side to close out this game. If you remove those ultimates, it looks like they'll close out the game because they're winning almost all of the buy rounds thus far. The closer rounds for PRX have been individuals, and they need to show up individually and together. 5 in a row needed, and the challenge already underway.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he put down early utility to try and slow this push a little bit, but the fact is, he underestimated the pacing. Lakia in the corner, but they expect it. He's stuck in the mud. Good utility usage in this round. It leaves now Karen. He's had some magical plays, but they know exactly where he is. Well, it seems so. Munir goes bouncing past him. Now, there is a flank, and no one really watching it, although it seems like Texture was doubting the player behind. Also a 1v1 taken, but it won't matter in the end. A 1 versus 5. Some serious mistakes needed, and Munier's going to put him down immediately.
Okay, there it is. The start of the way back for this squad. They've actually managed to deal with the vast majority of the ultimates as well there, Tom. GENG are left now with just a Viper's Pit. We listed all of them last round. They got used, they found nothing. So not only winning a buy round, but winning a stacked buy round in terms of ult economy. And they've still got some left to play with themselves. The Blade Storm can help out. The Pit can win rounds. And with 4 needed, GENG are finally seeing some negative economic state. No, that peek from Lakia was not expected. Good flash too, and it's a double. He's got his teammate Meteor with him, and they're absolutely extinguishing the flame of PRX's early fight. This squad's gonna have to go back and reconsider, surely.
Yeah, I like this. Just a direct counter. These A-side takes have been one of the major problems. Viper's Pit, although they might just about win 2 duels. A little bit dangerous, spamming. And because of that, being able to get rid of Meteor is a big pick, because that was looking like map control and a man advantage for GENG. Instead, much more of a problem. And also bear in mind, Lakia is the only one who can't be healed.
I mean, that cam there is very important. Just seeing something clear the spawn, you see how much space they lost, because this Viper's Pit isn't just stopping a push, it's stopping all of PRX's plans. Their plan was to blitz A. They get slowed, they get stopped, and now they have to go back and re-clear everything. Even if there's not a player flanking, if they're just pushed up in B main, holding that aggro intel, you're going to find it very hard to actually dive in. Now, this TP is to B side. Up top, it's going to be broken last second with something down below, spotted and taken down. GENG have the advantage. They're going to challenge Munchkin inside the pit. And what a mistake that was. Welcome to his world with Munyer, the last man standing, and a free kill presented. He's got 3 more to go.
15 seconds.
He's found the 4Ks in the past, Tom, but this would be exceptional.
He doesn't have time.
Good luck to you, and good night.
Yeah, it just wasn't enough there. And the fact is, the running through... I don't mind the change back, because obviously this isn't the comp they played last time, but it is the comp they ran versus Heretics. I think it's slightly better for them overall. Still has something on the Jet as well, because they had a similar comp to this, but with him on the Reyna. I think this just allows him to do more damage. I like the start, though, from GENG. Oh, okay. They had that 3-man push initially. Didn't expect anybody to still be around the angle. And because of that, they've lost the first battle.
One man down already, but the rest are rotating into the right spot. The read is good from the side of GENG as they move to the A site. Here comes PRX diving a little quicker than expected, but there's the return. They're not expecting this many players to be on that defensive side already. Anchored down, and they're winning the fights, leaving Devi all alone. The 1v2, good damage done, and the follow-up, and he's out of ammo. Knife out, and Karen wins! He brought a knife to a knife fight. 3 kills already. This guy's been sensational.
Got respected from Karen. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna be the coward. I'm not gonna go and reload.
Respected it.
I'll take you in the 1v1. And well, I'll win it out. And that, well, PRX, that was again. We talk about the advantages and their conversions. What was that? 5v3 as they get into the site. They get the initial opener and they get an entry, and then they don't convert the round. It's good work from GENG, but you always have to look at PRX and go, these are moments that you expect them to be able to convert. Not the start they were looking for. And again, we're going to see the same proactive approach from the defense, constantly looking to garner extra control. And PRX, they're going straight into the site.
Oh yeah, look, they're willing to dive. We can tell that as soon as Munyet picks up this agent, and well, he very nearly died to the turret. Not a good start, but Spike should at least be plantable. No nade left online for GENG. Nothing to really force these players out of the corner.
Spike planted.
With that sees, it's keeping him in position. It's only deducted about 10 HP or so because he was so low. And the problem now is you have to fight back through all these close range angles where PRX have the numbers to play with on a lot of the fights they're going to take. Decent damage on the headshot, good, follow up, and then it's clean house for GENG. 2 players lost, not the end of the world.
Yeah, could have been much worse. Interestingly, yeah, something buys shields into that round. So maybe hoping that they could get a kill and he could steal a gun away, but doesn't come to fruition. Texture as well as one off a showstopper going into round number 3. So especially on this map, it definitely is a little bit more difficult for challenge for those orbs, but it might mean that we see a bit more of an aid push, an opportunity to find something there. Well, this is where we are going to get the investment. Mitch, you'll be happy. Forsaken is already bringing in an Odin.
Listen, he's a wise man. I've always said that, Tom, and he's just proven my point, isn't he? You won't expect this off rip if you're GENG, and a little bit of danger for Texture. That crosshair's lined up on his head, and it's done some damage, some serious damage by the looks of it. Down to 77. Texture's tagged. Lucky is dropped. And we can continue on with the spams. Heals for most players. Devi the only one to stay quite low, not having anyone to bring him back to full fighting health. The reality is, though, they're in a pretty good position. The close range spot by Karen shouldn't be left unchecked. There's still a flash on Devi. You expect that to pop as they move forward. No, in fact, it's just a double swing, and the same thing there. Exactly. Clean trades for PRX.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to be fight after fight. Meteor now has to try and pull off some individual brilliance as well. I think a little bit too predictable on when he'd make his move. Munchkin on the other side of the map, and the thing is he could just hold this through to the next round, but I don't expect him to. When there's an opportunity to have an upgrade, maybe take a gun away.
Oh, indeed. Yeah, I mean, not a position you're going to be clearing a lot of the time. Done well to start. Player close is low. Devi and Mindfreak both playing without shields and with a bit of dent to their health. Forsaken also with no shields and no head anymore. This is getting very costly for the attacking side, with Munchkin not stopping anytime soon. He's already picked up 3, and now he's quickening his pace to the site. The time is so desperately low, and he doesn't know where Devi is. The element of surprise gets PRX the kill and the round. But at what cost?
Everything. Absolutely everything. Every single gun just goes for overhunting a player that was going to have a gun in the next round anyway. Like, I understand wanting to earn those extra orbs up, but this is one hell of an overextension. Just constantly fighting versus a player that had a bulldog. Munchkin, well, you can already see him smack talking, and well, it's not the only thing getting smacked.
Wow. Round 4, and there's going to be a real challenge for this attacking side. Weakness is already seen. A chance for GENG to shut down the way back through for PRX very early on. We know this is a map that both teams can pull to tight contention, but with GENG having done that extra work on it, picked it into this series, I'm worried for PRX. It's early early times just now, but with showstoppers online for both squads, we knew this was coming. Monet's on the way, head caught on the arch on the way through. It slowed him down enough and actually bought some time for Meteor to escape. And for Munchkin to round the corner, no one's going to go down to that showstopper, but it's claimed a lot of space.
Yeah. Oh, they don't realize how close Karen is. He had to move because of the Tiger. Monya's going to try and aggress. This is risky. Multiple players on the other side. Showstopper, he should be dead. He actually almost manages to catch one. Even still, though, for GENG, this is looking fantastic. Timing couldn't be worse for something either. It's going from bad to worse for PRX. They need to find a miracle through these spams. At least been able to get one, but they don't know if the player's still on the spike. The second tab will definitely help them out, but it's Odin just going through. Too many bullets to dodge there. But GENG, they break back immediately. And while we mentioned them losing all their players, it's going to hurt now.
Yes, yes, it absolutely is. Now you see the butterfly effect of that. Well-placed showstopper by Textures. We said there were 2 online, only 1 found its mark. And then the chaos afterwards. Every time you see someone on PRX turn their crosshair to look towards an angle where they've just seen someone swing or they've just lost a teammate, they get shot in the back because that's the exact timing that GENG go for the retake on all sides. Gorgeous stuff, 3-1. Odin being kept through, Lakia going way up in my estimations, let me tell you, buddy. And the spams, well, they're not having too much success, but they don't need to. In this round, PRX have basically nothing to play with. 4 sheriffs.
Well, also they've
dangerous.
already taken the control. That's the main reason. You've got Karen aggressively up. It's allowed for a gamble rotation, so he's just moving that Odin elsewhere. Not the most common door to spam because you are open to a couple of angles, but it won't matter. And this is the thing. We've seen this scenario many a time. Find a kill, TP back. Karen is excellent at knowing when to reposition as well, so they can leave those spots open. This is ambitious.
Where is he going? Where is he going? He's made it. He's made it just about around that corner, but well, that was risky. If they came through that wall, Tom, I'm not sure that would have went the way he was thinking. Spray good for Munchkin. It's a narrow alleyway to fight in, and wow, that's a lot of damage. No chance for PRX here. Of course, we did mention they have those weaker weapons. They don't have a lot to play with. And they'll get nothing done. A flawless round. I hate to harp on the economy, but GENG off to a flying start with it yet again. Yeah. It's feeling reminiscent of last map, but it is still very early days. Plenty of time for PRX to find their footing. They don't want to waste time throwing rounds away. They've called a timeout.
That's the funny thing. We might actually get to the point where we can just highlight when GENG don't have money.
Yep.
We'll just save time.
Yep. Yep. It's the play.
They've had it the whole time throughout the series. I like the pause, though, coming out from PRX because this has been rough.
It wouldn't speak well for what's to be seen because Loud Sentinels, they're not going to be any easier.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to face off against either of those teams right now. Here we go, though. Again, early paranoia. I think this one is not really going to be played upon. I like the idea, again, using that haunt to get them space, but something, I think he's just going to disrespect the utility. Had enough of these pushes coming through. He is going to get pinged up. They know where he is, and Texture's already there to support.
That's it. They're trying to punish the Odin. They know that it's not easy to fight from this angle, especially when the door gets opened, and now he's dead. But that's what it's all about on GENG, filling in the spaces and being able to fight afterwards. But with the return from PRX, they've got a real chance. The headshot angle held by Mindfreak, but Meteor's just ducked underneath it, playing the limbo, and he's winning this game with Mindfreak down. It's 45 HP, and a dream turned to a nightmare. PRX losing out on another. They had a good pacey take, managed to put the players on the back foot, and filled in every gap that GENG were trying to stuff their way into. They always had someone to take that second fight, and PRX had someone to take the third. This time, though, they lose out when it comes to the post plan. You gotta say, they really could have used that round.
Yeah, this is one of those things as well where Meteor's in a 2v2 scenario. The amount of times I feel like I've watched him just get both kills and his teammate's still rotating. Like he's just so confident at this stage in his individual ability, and even just ducking under where he assumed his opponent would be holding. That was, again, another big round for PRX. A lot invested, even having some decent early trades, but it isn't to be. And now, well, Bladestorm is really all we could talk about, and they're still ready for his initial play. Almost goes down, but has managed to dodge that singular bullet fired by Texture.
Yeah, the thing is that's sending them elsewhere. Forsaken was trying to claim some space by sneaking through. We saw good success for that. I think when Yet on the previous map was throwing out a few of those little feelers. But the idea now is you can't play up against that op. This ain't the round for it. Your Blade Storm's already gone, and everyone else has pistols. Close range, numbers advantage is the way to go, and they've done it, at least trading out the first. Karan, though, he has been consistent every single time they've challenged him. This guy's coming up with multiple. 7-2 right now. Teammate ready to swing, and luckily, because Karan was dropped very quickly, so too is Meteor. Hell, it's winnable for Divine, but his knife was pulled out. Tried to evade some spams or some, well, players emerging from the smoke. Unfortunately, he jumped right into their crosshair. 6-1 for GENG, and 4 ultimates online coming into round number 8.
It's one of those scenarios where, again, PRX have made some of these rounds look somewhat competitive, but GENG are consistently able to clutch out the late round. Again, as you said, ults are in their favor, finances are in their favor. There's at least a lot coming online in this round for the side of PRX. Counter operator going to be invested into on something. He has had a very quiet start to this game, and a reaction shot from Texture already puts down Munyet.
You see the idea as well? We see the aggression, we try to take space elsewhere. Denied on A, because GENG are getting aggressive, giving PRX a taste of their own defensive medicine. This is a really good start with 4 ultimates to fall back on, 3 of which will help you out if you're in a pinch. For PRX, where do they go? Where do they take it? Maybe they can get a neural theft if they can even drop a body. And they cannot.
Oh, no.
A wallbang kill with the Odin from Lakia. That's something dropped. That's the op down, and he's looking for a little bit more. I don't know where they're going to take this on the attack, but I think I know what the result will be regardless.
Forsaken's been quiet as well, and reposition. Nice shot at least. Will make things that little bit more interesting. The reveal as well will tell exactly where their opponents are. Knowing there's only one player here, the turret though, keeping things disruptive. And Meteor, again, full sprinting to help his teammate out. It gets close for a matter of seconds, but GENG continue their utter dominance in this match. 7-1 on the defense. I don't know, yeah, second pause is going to be called for PRX. At this point, I feel like they're running out of ideas. I also just did tidbit as well. Last 3 times, GENG have won, played and won this map. 8 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack, 9 rounds on attack. They're 7-1 up on defense.
Ooh, that's not good.
They're
And they pushed
try and
A
swing through
with 2
them.
players in the same round.
Yeah.
Right, so like this is the thing. You even peek your head out and go, oh, are they rubble? Yep, they are. I'm dead.
Yep, they're
right.
everywhere.
Now we have no advantage. We're playing
They're
from
going to
behind.
push B. It looks like they are. Insta smoke. B control being taken by 3 players. Just waiting to see if the push will come through in that direction. It's going to allow them the fast take back of this control. Paranoia immediately put through. The trade's not awful in the beginning, but they quickly divulge into nothing for the side of PRX. Forsaken trying to claim it back though. Finally, he comes alive.
Well, this is the round that he needed to wake up in. That spike is theirs, and they can walk it straight to the C site once that door is closed. 16 HP, Mind Freak on 42, but Texture's got an op and a nade. And there's a snake bite left. This could be very, very dangerous indeed. For now, though, Texture's not deploying the nade. Instead, sitting down, op in hand, 16 HP, turned to 0. Nice shot with the operator as Mind Freak now has a nade below him. He's safe up top. He's got the angle, could even pick off Munchkin. That could make it winnable, but Texture's a little too quick.
I love it.
I didn't think he could fire off that quick.
It's just like, he's got an op as a negative, and then it's like, no,
Boom,
never mind.
Wide swings it. Like, all right, we're quick scoping now, but that's the level we've hit for GENG. 8-1, Tom. Yeah, I almost wanted to say coming into this map, well, it can't get any worse. It just has. It was 8-2 at least last time.
Yeah, it definitely is looking like a golf in class, which, again, considering this is the #1 and #2 from the same region, that we've already seen them play a best-of-5 series that was a 3-1, and a lot of the maps were close. It looks like GENG have leveled up, and for PRX, I don't know if they've fallen off, because that's looking like the difference between these two is not the same we've seen before. All 5 ultimates, by the way. GENG don't need them. That's actually the point we're in. They don't need the ults. They're just winning the rounds anyway.
Normally you'd be thinking at this point, oh, let's just throw one out just to see.
There you go.
There it is. Okay. Cycle the economy a little bit. Here comes the big rocket, and it's not landed. It's not found the value it needed to. The lockdown has been destroyed, and Meteor was tagged down quite a bit.
That's the value, right? That's the value. They got rid of the they got rid of the lockdown, so they can at least claim some space. He's screwed. There's no way he survives that.
It's a little messy. It's giving PRX a chance, Tom. They haven't planted the spike, but they don't need to if they win these fights again and again, and they have. Lakia dropped, leaves Munchkin 1v3. If he wins this, I'm putting the headset down. They've got decent amount of HP, and they've lost Mind Freak. Okay, but it's all right. They've still got 2 players, no utility to play with. They've got to just take these fights, not one at a time. That's the only thing I beg of you. Not one at a time, not up against Munchkin right now. He's 11-4. He's been winning round after round, but a reposition by Forsaken. Nice. The swing is good. Nice. And the double peak wins the day, 8-2. Deja vu for PRX. And, well, GENG got to be feeling confident. The good thing is they used 3 ultimates there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That they lose the rounds, they use the ults. That's the weird thing about it. And again, a lot of this just came down to some brilliant individual play from Something, finally putting a couple of kills on the board. The fact is they did peak Munchkin individually. First player peaks, dies, second gets dinked, and it's only finally they reposition. I think we would have needed a new desk completely for Alex if they managed to lose that round, but it's scary that it even got close.
I think just get rid of the desk, man. Punching bag with an LED screen in it.
Whose face is on it?
It depends on the game. Make it interchangeable. Well, Forsaken's picked off Karen. That's a fantastic kill. Look how open the A side is, and they've made that realization. There's no further challenge. There's no utility. There's no reaction from GENG. So Forsaken realizes it's wide open, and he gets caught by Lakia. That timing was near perfect. You have to, well, I mean, you could call it a mistake. At the end of the day, he was open to like 6 angles, so he has to just be clearing those, constantly being paranoid about them. The site, though, is lost, and PRX will find the plant nonetheless.
Showstopper online. Not wanting to allow them to set up. Something's going to try and get aggressive, but he's not going to manage to land the shot. Now, I think the flash through the back might have actually caught Munchkin, so he's going to actually reposition through B instead. Move away from the flank position. It's open. I think it's because Device having to check too many angles. The Seekers at least will give it away. Showstopper has been thrown in. He might get caught by all of the Seekers, but his teammates got his back, and that means he'll be able to kill off Mind Freak. The remaining players a bit of an obscure position. Munyet has not been cleared yet, and because of that, he's going to be able to deny the defusal. The spam doing so much damage, and now it's all on to Devi with an operator. First shot missed, but he just needs to kill the guy defusing, and he's done enough. There's no time left. Finally, PRX pull out the miracle rounds we've seen from them, but everybody will go down with the ship.
Well, it's the same thing as what we saw before, Tom, right? They're getting this little resurgence towards the end of the half. This time, PRX didn't have the pistol to help them out. They weren't both on the previous map, putting them up 4 rounds, and they ended on 8. But here, they're doing it on the rifle rounds. They're doing it in the clutches as well. As close as they may come, it's still giving them that little bit of a heartbeat to continue on forward. Now, this round, the last of the half, GENG come in with the Viper's Pit. That's going to be a problem to fight through on the defensive side, or potentially a very strong tool for retakes.
Man, it's scary when it's a Red Bull clutch that gets you your 3rd round, but as long as they're getting the rounds, I don't think they're going to mind too much. This battle is now changed. It was previously Karon being solo, and now it's Texture, and his operator has been fierce.
Looks like they're going to go back into it. Is there a flash? Is there anything? No. No, it's just a dry, wide peek by Munyet. Players up top looking to trade, but Texture's out of the angle too quickly. PRX have given him another shot, and it looks like another bite of this apple. As around comes another, but finally the miss is there. Texture gets the reset, though, with low HP. He's dancing around, but he's being caught. There was no escape this time, and with Lakia falling, a real chance emerging for an 8-4 half. It looks like PRX have finally woken up. They've found some punch to be packed. Let's see. Meteor's on his way in. Up close with a teammate further away. Munchkin's making a lot of noise. They're trying to find an angle to deal with him, and instead running into Meteor. Well played. Now they can group up and try to force this 2v2 with the Viper's Pit. That was a little scary. Thought Munchkin was about to be spammed, but now they've got a lot of space as they close in the distance. No snake bites to play with, though. That could help out, keep them way out of this pit, and with Munchkin falling, it's done. PRX 8-4 at the halftime. They found some legs to stand on, some foundations laid. But the second half will be tough if they lose the pistol.
Yeah, it's almost identical to what we saw in the last half. A streak of rounds, that's just disgusting. I was thinking from Forsaken's point of view, I didn't even really see anything. That's how good Texture has been. But again, it's those player deficits that are actually what turn the tides over there. Well done from PRX to at least get something. Yeah, we want this to be a competitive match that it definitely has not been. GENG looking like a competitor for the crown, and thus far we haven't seen the PRX that we know and love. This pistol round might just be a deciding factor, but a great start from Monyet. Already pushing aggressively on the other side is something waiting for someone to try and make their move, and he's going to go back for a little bit more. Has to use the dash to get out of there and is now waiting for the cavalry to arrive as the rest of the team somewhat far away. An opportunity, but Forsaken with a good trade.
Keeping the numbers in their favor. Something needs to do a little bit more. He's done some damage, and there's the follow-up. A shot right to Texture's temple. That's going to put us in a 4v2 with PRX definitely favored to take this pistol now. Forsaken fallen. A little bit more of a chance. Something, though, delivers. Okay, he's up top and not spotted. Easy peasy. That's a 3K for Something. Looks like even he's starting to heat up.
That's exactly what they need. Just him having confidence. Because you look at some of the fights he's taken, and there's definitely risks about it, but that's always been his play style. Even on a Gecko, he's basically an op main, so then get the finances built up early, get the orbs rolling on the duelist, which is exactly what's happened thus far. Get that sniper into his hands. This game can definitely slip back. As said, though, for the majority of the matches we've seen, be it mostly in Pacific, GENG have been much, much more consistent on their attack.
Pistol win then was essential for PRX. Now the follow-up looks easy. Very little to play with for GENG, and even if they drop something, he's the player that's rocking with the pistol. So the margin for error's already been reached here. Any further kills will be costly, will force some level of reinvestment from the side of PRX. But on the defense, they can keep distance, and with the buy that GENG have, they're definitely not favored on ranged fights.
Defiant will be solo, but you can see the rotation already coming out from Monyet. Jump peek will give him the info to go back in with that Marshall. This is a round that they shouldn't really have any opportunity to win. The weaponry not falling into their hands off the kills they've garnered, and the players they're pushing into are actually just going to start pushing into them. A good round from PRX as they manage to bring things again back within 2. But the fact is, it has been the buy rounds where GENG truly have been a level above.
Well, just look at your screen. Besides Something, this is a round that often you're going to look at as an eco, but 3 orbs away from a Blade Storm means he can force up here, buy an operator, and potentially have a Blade Storm, even if they lose the round. With how consistent he normally is with that op, I would definitely put stock in him finding at least the 2 orbs. 1 kill and a death. We'll see what he can get up to.
It also means they can gamble the control. They've got him holding onto the A site, an aggressive position from Monyet. This is not really the gun you want to have here. Somehow, he gets out of there unscathed. They also had an initial setup for players outside C, but after that spot comes through, fading back. Now, the cross has already happened, so Something now in a pretty deadly position. And honestly, I think Meteor's a little bit lucky there to even get 1.
Well, here's the chance for that operator to finally show its ugly face. Ugly for the side of GENG as they lose a player right off rip. And it's Texture, the man with the responsibility to take the space to close the distance. Now they'll be a little bit slower on the way around these corners, which is just perfect for Something. He had to be watching the right way, though, and Munchkin caught him unaware. The same happens with Devi, though, leaving it to a 3v2 defensive advantage and Devi walkabouts. He's been so good. 19 kills, looking for his 20th and his 3rd of the round. And it looks like he might, oh, he will get the opportunity, but he's being dropped. Doesn't matter, because Monyet's there to catch him when he falls. 8-7, and now this gets me excited for PRX. That round puts them way back in contention because GENG got an eco.
Yeah, I like the way they play it as well. After the initial spot, that there was at least one player lurking. They know that there's an opportunity to potentially steal a gun away. So they 3-man push. Even a trade there's not too bad, knowing there's some things on the other side. And even though he only gets 1 kill, he does enough to delay and allow for those rotations. Devi as well, though, as you said, he's been fantastic. 19 and 10, topping the entire scoreboard right now. Something once more. They know he's going to be here. They know there's a high chance he'll be here, and they're actually going to really put the pressure on early.
I don't mind this from GENG. They have players lurking elsewhere. Trap just got broken on B. So now for PRX, they have to be worried about the flank. It means you're not going to have Forsaken there to help with this fight. Instead, something has to do it on his own, and again, he finds texture. That's a big part of this take. They try to seize the space with him blast packing in, but instead, they've been left to try and trade it out. 2 versus 3. Meteor's good position has been noted. As we said earlier, they know that trap was broken. They know there could be someone around here. It's why you see Devi wait for Mindfreak, wait even for the plant to come through, while Munyet finishes this flank. Looks like they're aware. Well, they're very much aware that something is going on. I mean, PRX haven't made a move. Why haven't they? Why are they not trying to fight for any bit of control? And that's not something they'll find an answer to until they plant the spike.
It looks like because they've spotted players near B, and they're worried about their spawn, they're actually going to go fighting aggressively. This could be a big win if it comes through. Nice work from Meteor. 1 bullet left. And nothing being spotted towards the spawn. This means they know where they are. The peek out is perfect, and he goes back with the pistol. He does it alone. Meteor's going to confirm the MasterCard Thrifty. And what was looking like a round firmly in the hands of PRX falls to 1 man.
1 man with 1 big gun and 1 medium gun also. Very ambitious to go for this. That could have put it to a 1v1 top, but he was having none of it.
That's what I said about this guy. He knows he'll hit the shot. For some reason, when it's him, a 2v2, and he goes, okay, I've got the first one, he always peeks for the second, and weirdly, he always gets it. That's the thing. Every time I'm sat there going, I'm ready to critique, and then he gets the kill, and I'm like, well, fine then. I guess that was the right play.
Well, uncouth, but it works this time. Certainly caught his opponents off guard with GENG 9-7 and claiming that round. PRX have weaknesses. An operator in the hand of something.
Look at where he is.
It's not really an opping angle normally, is it? Oh, nice flash, that's good. But he hasn't got the dash anymore. It's faded out. But Munchkin, oh, the shot's missed. And Munchkin's been given a second chance at life while the showstopper is again just, oh, I thought just used for space, but if he fires it out close, no, he doesn't pull the trigger. And now he realizes his mistake as the dive comes in from PRX. They've got a lot to work with.
The old Stoke should be, well, in theory, forcing them back, but it hasn't happened at all. They went aggressive, made this one problematic. Spike already planted at least, so they're gonna have to respect it and just fall back. Munchkin's still holding, and they have a pretty nasty potential crossfire just with the amount of time that can be bought. Munchkin is just looking at that clock. That's all he really aiming for, sitting back, waiting for the push. He manages to land the first, almost onto the second. The PRX respond in turn, a back and forth so far in this second half, and they close the gap once again to just 1 round.
Well, that's the response and resurgence we wanted to see. This game, this map, and indeed this series
he would
is
have
hanging
killed
on a knife's
something
edge.
if he just shot the bullet. That's got to be so infuriating.
Yeah, I can understand he doesn't want to give away his position, but, you know, you make a decision there. Do you gamble it? Do you not? And, well, he chose wrong. Chips on the wrong color. Well, 9-8. And for PRX, it looks like they've really got their hands dug into those reins. The economy is low. We've seen GENG win low by rounds. There's a Viper's Pit online with 1 kill from Munchkin, 1 orb, 1 plant. But the main thing is something has got basically an all right now. That's a Yassine dash. But it works out for him, no punish. And the reposition gets him another kill. Swing out, coming in to the side of PRX and closing the round in just a second. Blink and you miss it as we're 9-9.
Yeah, they have somehow made this comeback happen. 5-1 in this second half after what was basically, we were at a scoreline where this looked over. What was it, 8-1? And then they went 3 rounds in a row. And that's the thing. You don't really think it at the time because an 8-4 half is still great, but it seemed like GENG just let the foot off the gas. A few big plays coming out. Now we're starting to see players rise up. You were mentioning it, the distance between Devi and everybody else was a lot. Well, something has been closing the gap. I'm also just looking at Mindfreak.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking at him too. Karen was trained in on that with Texture finding a field day. 2 HP left on Devi. He'll find it hard to get any impact from this point. A stray bullet enough to take him down, but he's caught Karen off guard. The flash covers his retreat. No more flashes and they don't range gen anymore. But an opportunity still. No, shut down. 2 versus 3 though. Viper's pick could change the game.
They're trying to get in as quickly as humanly possible, but Meteor's there to defend. Leaves it onto something. As said, he's had a real resurgence. May just fall back to enable the reload. Never mind, he's just looking to reposition completely. I think they know exactly where he is, but somehow he still wins the battle. 3 bullets left in the clip. The pit's been dropped. He's already going to spot one, but he's now just out to the Classic, and it's a Classic v Classic. Malakia's the one to take it home. These rounds are getting insanely close, and it's a back and forth once again.
Really is like a pendulum swinging. There's no stability to be found for either of these teams. 2 rounds for PRX, an immediate answer back by GENG, but the fact that it comes down to this, that the Viper is dropped outside the pit, and then that's the result. Clean as can be with a final right click to close it. GENG, they've got a lot set up in front of them, Tom. There is a showstopper for Munyet. Other than that, everybody is just on the rifles. Credits are low. GENG could be on the home stretch very, very soon, and Forsaken in that corner needs value. They've not seen him. He's good for 1 and damage on Texture. Those could be very, very pivotal facts for us as PRX look to move back through. So many players are low. One extremely low in the corner. It's the Rocket to find him.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. That trade's all right. That was the low HP player that goes down. I don't think they're going to mind that whatsoever to put it back into a 3 versus 3. Something about to try and go through this. His teammates a little bit further behind. No flash available for Devi, so it's just going to have to be the raw push. Already managing to retrieve a rifle, but every member falls. GENG now get a double back of their own. And the major worry here for PRX, they don't have backup credits. They don't have anything in their pockets other than a Blade Storm. This could be the beginning of the end.
It feels that way, Tom. 2-round gap. GENG in this series have just been miles ahead when it came to these rifle rounds. And again, it seems strange that 13-8, to talk about it as a dominant game. Yes, it is a strong score line, but not damning for the other side. But when you look at both pistols, that's a 4-0 start based off of coin flips. And PRX managed to just about come ahead. When it came to rifle rounds, they weren't able to succeed. Now, early push, it's not quite a rifle. Instead, it's a set of blades, and those don't even get fired off. They lay by his side as he falls to the floor. Something down, so too is Devi, and they're ready for another player close. There seems to be nothing that PRX can do to surprise this GENG roster in the last few rounds. And with 12 looking like it's on the board, Tom, these players, they have to be feeling the crushing weight of this series. The lower bracket is beckoning them, and there they'll face elimination against the Sentinels who are allowed. There's no easier fight for them than a team that they know. The devil they don't is coming.
It seems like GENG have got their number. This round at least was a weaker investment, but they had to use one of the ults and it got absolutely nothing. And the second we've got into these post-plants, that's where GENG have looked their most fearsome. A team from last year that started strong, had a massive fall from grace, made a huge overhaul of this roster with risks taken. Players brought back who had been at a Masters right at the beginning of Valorant, a player they got from Ranked, and players that have not found success elsewhere. Texture, one I think we can really highlight. Like in G, he was okay. But to go into a GENG roster that's now playing for a minimum of top 3 if they win this match, unheard of, surprising, and now looking like that pinnacle of Pacific. looking to try and do what no Pacific team has ever done before. Take themselves to an international victory. The PRX are not dead, not down, until you stamp them out.
Definitely looking injured. The path to recovery, 3 straight rounds in OT in a third map. A lot of win conditions. For GENG, 3 ultimates to fight their way through. PRX don't have reactive ones, not impactful ones. Whereas the lockdown, the showstopper, and of course the nightfall. Any one of those can open sights, pull you out of sticky situations. Door open. That was the defenders, but it's covering Munyet's push forward. Problem is, okay, good nade up close. That's going to force that player out in the open. Problem is, Texture was covering it. And now the push on mid is spotted as well. 3 players left for PRX. And it looks like they've still got a fight in them. Nightfall won't evade it. He's being caught. But, oh, it's fake information. The Shrouded Step has bought a little bit of an advantage for Mindfreak because he's still alive, his HP recovering, but with something down. And Devi, very much known towards that spawn. Mindfreak's on the wraparound, wants to move towards that singular door. For this, Devi needs to buy some time. He still has a flash to play with. There it goes. It's popped and it's cleared out this corridor. Devi's even won the fight. The smoke is down. A chance if Mindfreak can make it to Devi, if they can take this fight together, but they don't know where the last players are. And the nade has even forced them back for a second. The time now very low. And with 2 players still to root out, it might be too low. Devi just dodges that siege, but Mindfreak down. The time now not to be played with. Okay, no, Texture went out swinging. There's no chance. There's no chance whatsoever. He had to stick it underneath his nose, and short of a big misplay, it was never swinging the other way. 13-9.